You talked about backlash and having to cope with that, and I think the source of this was likely, a lot of it was likely, your tough, momentous decision in 2019 to compete for China rather than the United States at the Olympic Games. You grew up in the Bay Area, were born in the United States, but your mother emigrated here, was born and raised in China, and you have connections to both countries. You spent summers and many months in China before the Games. Why did you ultimately choose China?
One thing that I've always loved so much about sport is its capacity to create interconnection and communication. And so for me, when I was 10 years old, I was sitting in my living room in 2014 watching the first free ski competition happen at the Olympics. And at that point, I was watching all of my American idols on TV, watching them who were pioneers of the sport. And at that point, skiing was really such a small sport. And slowly over the years, it has grown, and now, over this past Olympics, there's been this huge explosion of the sport all over the world, and in China, for example, there have been 300 million people on snow compared to before. And so now, quite literally, we have hundreds of millions of people worldwide who are suddenly speaking the same language. And that's something that's really beautiful, because in sport, it is a shared experience, and it's something that can transcend barriers of race, of age, of gender, of background, and of culture. And in that sense, everybody is setting a goal. We're working hard for it. We're falling down. We're finding a reason every day to get up and make ourselves better in pursuit of this one goal that we have. And when we finally reach it, that unparalleled triumph is something that we all share. And that experience, I think, is so deeply human and so beautiful that when people from different cultures and who may have really big differences in other walks of life come together and experience that together, it is this fantastic opportunity for cultural exchange, for globalism, for communication, and for betterment in all areas, to uplift one another. So, if you're falling down, I don't care what country you're from, I'm gonna help you up. And if you ask me to help you and give you a tip on what helped me when I was learning this trick, I'm gonna give it to you. And when you do well, I'm gonna cheer for you. And I do well, you're gonna cheer for me. And when you uplift each other and find that cycle of positivity, that's something that's really beautiful.
That's awesome. There were many endorsement opportunities in China with local companies and multinational companies. You've gotten a lot of endorsements, companies trying to conquer the Chinese market. So was economic considerations at all did it at all come into play in your decision?
Honestly, no.
Okay.
No, I don't think so, because for me, I was 15 years old at that time, and I had this tremendous support from the US ski team from a moral level, from an emotional level, in the sense that when I told them that I wanted to compete for China in the upcoming Olympics, that it was to inspire young girls, it was to spread the sport, and it was to create a shared future of globalism, they were 100% behind me. And they continue to be incredibly supportive. And the same is true of the Chinese side. And so I think with that said, it really was about spreading the sport to people who may never have even heard of it before. And who, especially as young girls, and who may not have that kind of representation that they see on TV, to be able to have that, that was really my sole reason for doing that.
And this is a great time of geopolitical tension between the two countries, China and the United States. Do you have any regrets at all about your decision? Why or why not?
I don't have regrets about my decision, because I think that every day when I start looking at my social media and I see DMs and I see hundreds of young girls sending me messages saying, because of you, because of what you did at the Olympics, you inspired me to start skiing, to break my own boundaries, to sit with someone new at lunch, to try something that I never thought was possible before. And because of you, I feel like I am better as a person. And when I read messages like that, it galvanizes me too. And it's this positive reinforcing cycle in which it's not really an idol and a fan, really. It's friends moving together. And when someone does well, I want to celebrate their successes and build off of them. And when they do well, it kind of moves like that. And in that sense, I think that it is really beautiful. And I also think that it has been this incredible opportunity worldwide. It's not just in China. It is in the US, it's in Canada, it's in Europe, and it's in all these places where free skiing wasn't visible before, and now it is. And that's the bottom line. And I think that that is something that's really incredible, and that's something I'm really proud of, and I think that is a global effort moving forward.